Hey, good morning. It's a new week and here we go. I'm back up on a place we call Texas Flat today because some of our lost cows showed up here. And we have a big week. We're trying to get everything lined up to start shipping next week. And so it's just tying up a lot of loose ends and trying to make sure that we have everything organized and in place so that the shipping goes as smooth as it can. So that's going to be our focus this week. I've also got some fence to fix and got a few calves we need to brand and just stuff like that. So that's what we're doing this week. Hope you enjoy the video. All right, well, it's Memorial Day holiday, and so I've got some extra help today. Got Taryn and Trayson and Kent and Owen are up here, and we are just hunting these cows. I've seen a pretty good bunch up here, and from what we can tell, it might be all the ones that we're missing. So if it is, that's going to be awesome. But we've all split up and we're all going to ride different directions and start hunting tracks and see what we can come up with.
Well, you gotta be careful. Me and my dad, we're just riding by here and we heard something really buzzing. Look at that thing. Pretty good sized rattler. I bet we stepped right on top. We were right on that trail. I don't know how he didn't bite us, but kind of crazy.
Good grief, I didn't hear him. Tracy said, I hear something buzzing. And we walked right over the top of that darn thing. Lucky we didn't get bit.
Yeah. Those are pretty cool animals anyway.
So we've been riding about 2 hours and we've gathered up this many cows. We're still short about 4 according to our count. So I'm gonna hold these here and we're gonna go on another big re-ride. Kind of look around, see what we can find. But we're getting close. Well, all right, we've been riding for 5 hours and didn't come up with all of our cows. We've got a bunch of them, but we're short 5. Anyway, we're gonna call it a day and drive these out of here. We got 6 or 7 miles to drive them. We're gonna drive them out and then we'll have to come back another day. Dang it. Trayson, he's riding his Mustang today.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember this horse, but about 2 or 3 months ago I had him and he was kind of supposed to be more docile and kid friendly, but we sent him to a neighboring ranch for a couple months and they put a lot of hard days on him. So we got him back and anyway, he's doing pretty good. Had a pretty good day, so.
He can travel. He's just a real traveler. He's got something in there. Some part of his Mustang blood, I guess, but he can really walk and cover the country. Kind of nice. get them to go through this gate right here. And we head them out to the highway and put them in the holding pasture.
Hey!
Hey, good morning. Oh, we have been just tying up a whole bunch of loose ends. I haven't videoed much over the last couple of days. And what I mean by loose ends is just finding cows here and there, just little bunches, and getting them back ready to ship. Making sure we have all of our numbers. And we've actually done pretty good. But we are back in that same area we were the other day because I'm missing 6 cows. And they're the last 6 that we know we're missing. And their tracks are here, and I know they're here somewhere. And today I've just got to see if I can track them down. And I don't know if I can. This is a big pasture. It's back in that Texas flat country. And so there's a couple of spots of water, and that's where we're going to start. And then we'll go from there. But that's kind of where we're at. Down to 6, which is kind of amazing. Anyway, that's what I'm doing today. And hopefully it won't be just a boring riding all day, not finding any cows. Hopefully we're going to hit some sign or something here, and we're going to be able to find these cows. But we'll see. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work my way up this little knoll. You can see right there in front of me. It's a pretty good vantage point for this area. And I'm gonna see if I can see anything. And look, there's tracks, but they're just all mixed up and I can't tell what's fresh. We haven't had storm in a couple of weeks, and it's pretty hard to tell which tracks are which. So I'm gonna try getting some elevation here and then seeing what I got. I'll give you an idea of how big this pasture is. There's really not even fences up here. It's just all bordered by like natural cliffs and canyons and things like that. So just like looking for a dang needle in a haystack. But we know those cows are in here somewhere, but I'm just not seeing them right now. So that flat you can see right there. We have a water trough over there, and their tracks were coming into that water trough. There was also tracks in this canyon that's in between us because there's water in it too, and there were some tracks in there. So I was just trying to get up here, hoping I'd get lucky and see something. All right, and I'm riding Jake today. And Jake is our Hancock bred horse. Boy, is he awesome. He is a 7-year-old gelding. Well, no, he's an 8-year-old gelding. He just turned 8 this year. But boy, is he so nice. Such a good horse. And honestly, like, these horses are what get the work done. So he's so nice. All right, well, I finally hit a few fresh tracks, I think. And they're kind of going up the bottom of this draw I'm in. So I'm gonna ride up it and look around. There's an old dry pond up here. And maybe they're looking for water, I don't know. But I'm gonna ride up this draw and see what I find. Okay, I found some of them, maybe all of them. Might all be right here. Okay, so what we've got is we've got 4 pair here, and we're missing 6 pair. So we're missing 2 more cows, and I think I know which ones they are even. I saw them the other day and we didn't gather them, but there's a red cow with a white face that is not here. And then there is another cow, a black cow with a white face. And I know there's that one right there, but it's a different number. So anyway, I think I know which ones we're missing. We're gonna make Wayne and I are here. We're gonna make a circle and see if we can turn up anything else. And then, God, they gotta be right here somewhere. Hell, okay, we spent another 2 hours riding circles and didn't come up with our other 2 cows that we're missing. So we're starting to push these down, get them in our holding pasture. We'll be shipping them in a couple of days. But anyway, it's just kind of frustrating because now we've got to come back. But at least we got these. So, but we know of 2 more for sure because we've seen them. And we know which ones are missing. We even know their tag numbers, and so we know they're there. Well, that's an incredible view. Oh my word. I'll miss that when we go to the mountain for sure. Hell, okay, we made it. Hey, new day, and I'm not on the desert. I think you can tell I'm up on the mountain in Colorado. I ran out here today to look at a fence, and I needed a break, to be honest with you. I am getting tired of chasing cows and putting them back and all that kind of stuff. And so I had to run out here and look at a project. We're bringing cows over here in just 3 or 4 days, and we've got a big section of fence that has to be rebuilt. It's up in the middle pastures, and so we don't actually hit this pasture that I'm in for probably a month. And so I've got a few weeks to get it built, but I'm just looking it over and seeing how bad it is and what kind of supplies we're gonna need. So anyway, I'll turn this camera around and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, as you can see, this fence is basically non-existent. I mean, there's some wire and some stuff on the ground. And kind of what's happened here is this fence is way back in the back of a pasture, and it's been neglected, and the snow just kind of took it out. So I'm gonna rebuild it this year and put in a new stretch of fence right here. And I'm just, again, measuring and seeing kind of what supplies I need. And after I'm done doing this, I'm gonna go fix a little bit of fence too, kind of get started on that. But anyway, this is the project that we're going to be doing early on when we get up here. Okay, well, I got it kind of measured out and looking also at equipment and stuff we're going to need. We're going to need some equipment to do this. But kind of how this works is every year we do an improvement project on national forests. So we have grazing permits that allow us to graze on public land. And part of our stewardship in that is we have to take care of things. And so every year we have an improvement project that we do. And this year it is going to be this fence. And we're going to rebuild it and get it back the way that it should be. And it's also going to really help us keep cows off the neighbors. We found this bad section of fence last year when we tracked some cows and figured out how they were getting out. And they were coming clear over to the other side of the pasture, and a place that they don't normally go. It's right on the rim of a canyon right here. I don't know if you can, well, probably can't see that behind me, but and they were getting through the fence and onto the neighbors, and we couldn't figure it out. So anyway, we got it figured out. So that mystery got solved last fall, and now we're gonna fix that problem, and hopefully that'll mean less work for us this summer too. So anyway, that's the scoop out here in Colorado. Okay, I also wanted to show you this blue flower right here. Some of you may know what this is. But this blue flower, it comes out like this late spring, early summer. And it's the reason we don't come on the mountain until the first part of June. And it's more prevalent kind of the higher elevation you go, but it dies out by the middle to end of June. And what this plant is called larkspur. And some of you probably knew what it was. But you can see those little spurs on that plant right there. That's why it's called larkspur. Incredibly poisonous and will kill cows. And this flower part is not what's poisonous, it's the base and the root that's poisonous. And so if they pull it up and they eat that, it will kill them. And for the most part, I mean, we don't lose a lot of cows to it because we try to stay behind it, meaning we wait till it dries up before we move cows in pastures where that larkspur is. But if you put cows in here right now in this pasture, I'd be scared. We'd probably lose some because there's quite a bit of this larkspur blooming around here. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. Oh boy. It's windy. Sorry, we got a storm coming in and it's just windy. But it's a new day and we are getting ready to ship. And so we're gathering pears. And I got to get out of the wind and then I'll explain that a little bit better. But that's where we're starting today. Okay, so again, this wind is bad, sorry. But how this works is these cows have to be paired right before we put them on the truck. So you have to have cows and calves together. And so we just take our time doing that. And we get cows and calves that belong to each other on the same truckload so that when we unload them in Colorado, they're paired up and we don't dogie a calf. So that's what we're doing here. It just takes a little while. Well, okay, we're just starting the never-ending process of pairing stuff up. Oh my word, it's always hard to do. Because really, unless you see a calf nurse, you do not know if it's paired up right. You can think that you've got them, but until they nurse, you don't know for sure. So we've got a little bunch that we're just holding here and we're just sorting through these. So we've got one extra calf in here and we're trying to figure out which one it is.
All right, we got some of these long-eared calves in the corral, stuff that we missed branding this year. I think there's 5 or 6, but getting set up and we're gonna get those branded real quick because the brand inspector comes and he looks at every calf and they need to be branded before they head across the border into Colorado. So anyway, that's what we're doing.
I don't know, does she need shots?
Shots.
Okay, well, we got those cows all settled and ready to be shipped. And just some information on that. So we put about 32 pair, 33, depending on the size of the trailer and the weight, we can go up to maybe 34 or 35 pair. That's cow and calf on a semi. And we usually try to put 2 bulls on there as well. So when we say a load, that's what we mean. And so I put 2 loads in that corral there. So there'll be 2 trucks that will go pick those up. And now we're in a different pasture and we're gonna get 2 more loads ready to go. And so we've got to gather them and we're gonna brand a few calves. I think there's maybe 4 or 5 in here that were born later after we branded and need to be branded before they can go to Colorado. And so that's what we're doing this afternoon. And yes, I changed my hat. I was wearing a straw hat and that wind was just whipping and it kept blowing my hat off. So I went back to my felt hat and anyway, the wind in this other pasture, we're about 20 miles away from that corral. It's not quite as windy. So a few more trees in here and can stop the wind a little bit. Anyway, but I've changed my hat. So all right, well, that's what we're doing. We're just gathering this pasture. Okay, got everything corralled. And now we're gonna get a count and see if we've got everything. And then we're gonna brand a few calves.
Gonna start our second little bunch for the day. There's only 4 or 5 in here too, so should be quick depending on how fast Kent can work.
Oh, got that job done. Now I'm home changing water. So I love seeing water on a field and watching that field get green. There's something about it. But anyway, so we got things ready for our first day of shipping. And we'll have to put in a few more loads after the first loads go out. But anyway, this is a good day. We're missing 2 cows in our whole bunch. That's what we're missing is 2. And I know where they are. We've seen them and I tried to get them the other day. They're up on that Texas flat country. And so we've got to get them at some point. But anyway, I thought that was pretty good. We're just missing 2. So all the putting cows back and cussing and swearing because people left gates open and cows went where they weren't supposed to go. Well, it's all okay in the end. So anyway, we're gonna call it a week, and next week is gonna be one of those landmark weeks. It's gonna be a big week for us, shipping all of our cows to Colorado. So here we go. Have a good week.